There's a photograph on my wall of a man I no longer recognize. He's 26, sharp jaw, certain of everything. He thought he had all the time in the world. I'm 100 years old now, and I've buried almost everyone that boy ever loved. People come to see me like I'm some kind of miracle. They ask the same question, always in the same careful voice. Do you have any regrets? And I watch their faces when I answer, because the answer surprises them every time. No, not one. And it took me 100 years to earn the right to say that. Let me tell you something that they don't put in the birthday cards. Living to 100 is not the gift everyone thinks it is. It's not the candles. It's not the letter from the king or the president or whoever is signing them these days. The truth is stranger than that. Reaching 100 means you outlive your own world. Your friends, your enemies, the songs you loved, the streets you grew up on, even the version of yourself that started the journey. You become the last witness to a life only you remember. And when you're the last one holding all the memories, you learn very quickly which ones were worth keeping. So when people ask me how I have no regrets, they assume I lived the perfect life. I didn't. I failed. I lied. I hurt people who trusted me. I made choices at 30 that kept me awake at 60. Having no regrets doesn't mean you did everything right. It means something else entirely. Something almost nobody understands until it's far too late. Let me explain. For most of my life, I carried my mistakes like stones in my pockets. Every wrong word, every closed door, every "I'll do it tomorrow" that never came. I collected them. I rehearsed them at night. I believed that carrying the weight was a kind of honesty, that a good man should suffer for what he'd done. I was wrong about that for nearly 50 years. The turning point came in a hospital room. Not mine, my brother's. He was younger than me. He wasn't supposed to go first. I still remember the smell of that room, antiseptic and cut flowers going bad in the corner, the hum of a machine counting down his heartbeats. I sat beside his bed and I started to apologize for an argument, for 20 years of silence between us over something so small I can barely remember it now, and he stopped me. He was too weak to lift his head, but he had enough strength for 6 words. He said, "We wasted so much time," and he closed his eyes. And that was the last full sentence my brother ever spoke to me. We wasted so much time. I walked out of that hospital a different man because I finally understood the thing that had been hiding in plain sight my whole life. Regret isn't about the mistakes you made. Regret is about the time you spent punishing yourself for them instead of living. I thought regret was a debt I owed to the past. It was really just a thief robbing my present. So I made a decision standing in that parking lot. At 51 years old, I was going to stop keeping score against myself. I know how that sounds. Simple. Like something on a poster. But it is the hardest thing a human being will ever do. Because your mind is built to remember pain. It replays your failures to keep you safe. And it never knows when to stop. It will keep you safe right up until it keeps you from living at all. So I learned to talk back to it. Every time an old shame came knocking at 3 in the morning, I'd say the same thing. I know I was there and I'm not that man anymore. Not to excuse it and to release it. because there's a difference between forgetting and forgiving. Forgetting is pretending it didn't happen. Forgiving is remembering exactly what happened and choosing to put it down anyway. That choice is the whole secret, and you have to make it again and again for the rest of your life. But here's what nobody warned you about. The regrets that haunt you at the end are almost never the things you did. They're the things you didn't do. I've had 100 years to test this, and I've never once heard a dying person say they wished they'd worked more, or worried more, or held a grudge longer. Not one. What they mourn is the phone call they never made, the love they never confessed, the dream they buried because they were afraid of looking foolish. The action you take will fade. You'll forgive yourself. And time softens it. But the action you never take, that one echoes. That's the ghost that follows you into the last room of your life. So I stopped waiting. At 60, I learned to sail badly. At 70, I told a woman I'd loved since I was 19 that I had loved her since I was 19. Her name was Eleanor. She laughed the same way at 70 that she had at 19, like she was getting away with something. She'd been widowed, so had I. We had 11 good years before she passed. 11 years I almost lost to fear. At 80, I made peace with my son after a decade of distance. I picked up the phone. That's all it took. One phone call I'd been too proud to make for 10 years. And every single time, I thought the same thing. Why did I wait so long? The answer is always the same. Fear dressed up as patience. We tell ourselves we're waiting for the right moment. But there is no right moment. There's only now and the slow closing of the door. I'll be honest with you about something. There was a winter not long after Eleanor died when I decided I was finished. I was old. I'd said my goodbyes. I stopped answering the door. And one morning, a boy from down the street left a plate of food on my step. A stranger, he didn't even leave his name. Just a warm plate and a note that said, "Saw your light was off. Hope you're all right." I wept over that plate like a child. A stranger's kindness pulled me back from a door I very nearly walked through. That's how thin the line is. That's how much a small thing can matter. Let me tell you what 100 years actually teaches you. It teaches you that a human life is unbelievably short. I know that sounds strange coming from the oldest person you'll probably ever hear from, but it's the truth. 100 years went by like a long afternoon. The child I was is still in here. The young man is still in here. They didn't go anywhere. They just got quiet. And they're all asking me the same thing now. Did we live or did we just survive? That's the only question that matters in the end. Not was I successful, not was I right, just did I actually live the days I was given, or did I sleepwalk through them, saving my real life for a tomorrow that kept not coming? I can answer that now. And that's why I have no regrets, not because I got everything right, but because I stopped while there was still time and I started paying attention. I noticed the light. I noticed the people. I said the words out loud. I stopped rehearsing my failures and started living my life. And you don't have to be 100 to do that. That's the part I need you to hear. You can do it today, this afternoon. You don't have to wait for a hospital room or a milestone or the courage you think you don't have yet. The courage isn't coming later, it's here. It's just waiting for you to use it somewhere in your life right now. There's a phone call you've been meaning to make, a person you've been meaning to forgive. Maybe that person is you. A door you keep walking past because you're afraid of what's on the other side. I'm 100 years old, and I'm telling you as clearly as I can, go make the call, open the door, say the words, because the mistakes won't haunt you, the waiting will. That photograph on my wall, the young man who was so sure of everything. I used to look at him with anger. All the time he wasted, all the things he got wrong. I don't anymore. Now I just look at him and I say, it's all right. You figured it out. A little late, but you figured it out. And that's what having no regrets really means. It's not a clean record. It's a peaceful one. I'm 100 years old. Almost everyone I ever loved is gone. But I'm not mourning the life I didn't live. I'm grateful for the one I finally did. My clock is still ticking. So is yours. The only difference is how much time is left. So don't wait like I waited. Don't spend 50 years learning what you could learn tonight. Make the call, live the days, all of them, starting with this one. The door is right there. Go open it.